Welcome to today's Cast on the Fly conversation. Cast on the Fly conversation in regards to influencers and the lack of stability that all influencers have at this time. The way that influencers operate is shallow, self-centered, and it really is, in the real logic's form, the path of least resistance is the path that most people want to go. You get results from manipulating people into getting them to like you, to get them to buy your product. It's just a fact. However, when you start selling on product based on lies and confusion, evolution in society creates that as a way of acting that becomes the new norm. So the maliciousness and bad behavior actually becomes the good behavior because that behavior is rewarded by money and finances. We have a lot of people at this time who developed images and brands based off of celebrities like Kim Kardashian and Paris Hilton, who came from LA and who are now able to reach mass quantities of people. And they're proud of it because they look a certain way and they occur a certain way. However, the secret behind all of this is they're hiring bots to pay them to look and occur as if they're liked. But they're not liked by civilization. Civilization does not like them. It's hard because it's hard to decipher because it looks like people like them, and then unsuspecting, naive people will actually fall for it, and then they'll buy the product. Now, where we're at in the evolution of this process of branding and imaging is these individuals now will have gone viral overnight. So it's very complex in the leveling out of this MLM Ponzi scheme of Hollywood. So Hollywood's a Ponzi scheme of if you know somebody, you're in. Didn't matter the talent, you'd always have a male lead as the talent and you could get by. You could get by being sweet or being kind, but then really have nothing to say except for stay within the grounds of the script that they wrote. But then you went and hid in your home and then no one knew any different. Now those people have now moved into creating television shows such as Drew Barrymore and Jennifer Hudson, but they don't have a grounded foundation on reality. They don't have an education. They didn't go to college. They're betting on the fact that their acting roles, their abilities to act, and then topics of conversation become the substance when they don't have substance. It's a very complicated, complex thing to explain to a naive person who falls for the glam and the glamour of what Hollywood offers. It's like selling out church to the devil. See, somebody in this realm of adult has to be the one to say, no, you can't do that. Otherwise, the devil runs this place. And that's what we have and what we're seeing with Hollywood, podcasters and influencers, because nobody wants to take the responsibility that it takes to call people out on their nonsense. And then the ones of us that are willing to do such things is they're being hidden in the background while nobody is able to reach them. While the ones at the top are yelling out, make content, make content. Everybody has a fair playing field when they're lying to you. So what I'm really trying to say is the first 5 seconds of your video is a hook that tells you everything about strategy of branding versus actually being authentic, real people. So you're telling people about your hook. You're telling people about your strategy. You're planting pieces of content to fuel a unrest amongst an audience. And then nobody wants to be held accountable for the fact that you're creating unrest in millions of people and uncomfortableness. Instead of just speaking straight. It's like going door to door and say, hey, do you want to buy this? We don't like you, so no. That sounds interesting, so yes. Look at how pretty I am. I might buy it for 2 weeks, but after week 2, I'm done with you. Brand and imaging. Brand and imaging is the disguise, the makeup, and the hair that gets people to listen to the words that you're saying. So there's definitely different phases in the brand and imaging department of lack of integrity that comes in this new day and age of brand and imaging. So the first stage is to look the part, sound the part, and get the script down. Then the rest has to be unfolded and unveiled as you interact with people, and learning how to beat people, browbeat them to death with convincing them of who you want your brand and image to be, as if you're not that brand and image. You're not the brand and image of all the good stuff. You're the rotten stuff that you speak to. Yet you never deliver on any form of education that gets people to experience a form of education, especially since we're working in this concept. It's a concept, mind, body, and soul concept. A mind, body, and soul is not a concept. A mind, body, soul educator has to be somebody who is grounded in ethics and morals and in humanity. And especially if you live in the United States of America, you don't follow somebody who's from Persia, who's lied about everything that they're participating in. You don't follow someone when they're speaking to meditation and yoga. Your soul is on the line when it comes to this nonsense. You don't follow a chiropractor who's telling you about meditation when he's literally manipulating you using weird tones and voices. It's called brainwashing. So what we're dealing with in today's society is a form of, the very beginning is to look the part, sound the part, get the script down, and then let all the pieces fall into place by getting within the network and figuring out whichever way that you can do that to cross the line. Now you tell me about the gatekeeping. LA is running influencing. That's why VCon is in LA. That's why he already knew when VCon started that he was going to be and do and say and da for however long. He's got it on contract. That's not real business, just to let you know. Now, real business is you have a service to offer and someone buys the service. You speak to a motivation on a stage of something that you actually are grounded in education, because you know it will help people, not promote your business. When you are living from a place of brand and image and that is all, you are a shyster, a slime ball, a scumbag, somebody who offers nothing to an audience except for look at who I'm standing next to of a trophy. And they're all doing it. Every last influencer out there has nothing to offer, especially listening to podcasts. It's absolute garbage to watch two women sit across from each other and then just praise each other constantly about how they're dating this one. He's so sweet, and that one's so sweet, and this one's so sweet, and that one's so sweet, and this one's so sweet, and that one's so sweet, and that's the podcast. If you're a doctor and you can't talk about farting and burping, you're not actually a doctor. Side effects of drugs is farting and burping. You never worked a day at a CVS pharmacy, yet it's on your resume that you did. But you're from LA, yet you have family in Canada. Yet your mom was in New York and your dad's in California, but he lives in Canada now. Now we're watching a fake performance of a repeat on things that you have in your bank account, your bank of videos where it's dark. Like, these are videos that you wouldn't film unless it was plotted and planned to show people. It's very strange. So let me give you an example. There's a woman out there who's dating a rich dude, and she has a new podcast that's called Mind, Body, Soul that's coming out. She's a Persian. She had planted in her bank of video and photographs. She has a video, it's dark, it's dank, it doesn't show anything, but it has someone strategically panning out in the background where she and the dude are kissing, and then he's looking at her longingly and awkwardly, and it's completely dark in the room. And she's had that one on standby to utilize it when she's going to try to sell you on a product. That to her is influencing, because she was on 2 episodes of a reality television show. And she's also part of the network of the Kardashian crew, of letting everybody know on how they work you over as an audience. I'm not sure what part of this you don't fucking understand. They use their looks, their hair, their makeup, and acting skills. So basically taking an actor like Drew Barrymore in the movie Blended. She knows the character of the movie Blended, and then she takes the character role that she worked on for, a year on the movie. She takes that character, and then she becomes a talk show host. Then if that doesn't work, she'll take the character that she had when she was in the movie with Charlie's Angels. So if that first character in Blended isn't working for her, then she'll take the character traits from the movie where she was in with Charlie's Angels, and she'll use that as an opportunity for her to attempt to grow her business. Now, Drew Barrymore is more seasoned in it. However, we're talking about low-life influencers. See, Drew Barrymore had laws and rules that at some point she had to follow. That's why you're seeing her all splurging out on water and air and falling all over people, because she's basically begging people to keep her in business. Whereas influencers have low morals and values, more lower than the lowest of the low. It's like scumbag bottom dwellers who are willing to sell anyone out to make it in the business. It's a new form of trash and garbage in the world. But the problem with this is that these individuals are educating people on self-esteem and confidence, on bully systems, on dating, on relationships. They're going on podcasts where they're flirting on camera with men if they're women. They're calling themselves Jesus lovers. They're selling you on product. They're molesting you through their cameras. They're hosting themselves as brand and image, and then they're strategizing on how they're going to produce content to fuel their business. But they don't understand motivational speaking. However, call her daddies on a stage acting like a professional. Yet she's changing her personality when she's on her podcast to when she's on stage trying to be a professional. So she's trying to be your friend and get you to like her. Then she's trying to boss you around and telling you what you need in your life. Because she thinks she's made it because now she's married to Ace Entertainment, which is obviously a brand exchange. Same girl wears a lingerie, squats like she's taking a poop, has her dog in the photo, and then there's a man that looks like her fiance, or at that point her husband, and he's in a suit standing behind her. Now, logically, how would that affect an audience? What's the purpose? Like, you always want to think of, like, what's the purpose of your post? What is the purpose of this? To show yourself in lingerie? You're literally about to share a moment with a man that's going to, in the eyes of like a Christian, would be like your forever moment. And instead of enjoying the forever moment, you're filming it like it's a television show. And then you're posting it on platform, but not to show people what a relationship should look like. But you're doing it so that you can fuel your agenda of growing your business. It's different than Hollywood, because Hollywood would have the helicopters flying around, yet they would still host a big festival and a wedding, because it was all part of plot and part of growing their income also. Now we have people who are only in relationships based off seduction. They have no chance of making it until they're done and used up. They strategically place photographs and images to hurt audiences, because real people would see that the pain that they bring upon the nation is from photographs like that. But a person with no feeling would not understand that watching Gary Vaynerchuk kissing a woman from Persia, they don't understand that brings pain to an audience. They say, well, just mind your own business and don't watch it. Well, I'm a fan and a follower, and I used to believe in your work. And it's even more in depth than what I just said, as it is a trajectory of 44 million people, or however many people have viewed the images, with bot accounts fueling the day trading of attention. And it's the kind of attention that doesn't bring happiness to anyone. It only puts money in the bags of the people who want the money in their bag. Now, this is a problem because we've got these people as the people educating us on what entrepreneur is. This is the man that's supposed to be educating us on how to have ethics and morals because he used to have lemonade stands. Now, I'm referring to a video that's from a while ago, but this is very important to understand that he is just the example of what everyone's up to. Specifically, we're kind of referring to call her daddy. Women are trusting in her that she's educating them on how to be successful in business, but what she's actually educating them on is how to be a fucking bully. How to abuse each other, how not to get along, how to gossip, how to close your business down, how to feel insecure, how to back down in a fight, how to fight, how to gossip, what's important. It's not important to me to watch someone else kiss and wear lingerie at a wedding. But it becomes the new norm of every post that People Magazine, that US Daily, or whatever magazine or video was paid to go viral by rich people. Because in the old days, for some of you, it actually fueled your day. In their world. It would be a passing by conversation. Did you see what such and such did? How freaking ridiculous. I can't stand her. She makes me sick, is what we would say about Kim Kardashian. However, what happened was she hired bots to fuel the youth. This is the problem. She used bots to fuel the youth into thinking that people liked her. So now the youth is now Kim Kardashian because Kardashian is now old as shit. So the youth looked at Kim Kardashian as if she was a role model, although it was never directly supported that she was a role model. Even if you were a mother and had a daughter sitting next to you and you couldn't stand her, but you watched it because it was so horrific and horrendous, you could have talked poorly and badly about her. It did not matter because children tend to act rebellious. Whether you knew it or not, you were subliminally receiving nasty behavior from the Kardashians with no law and order associated to it. You were learning how to speak to your friends. You were learning how to speak to your mother. You were learning how to, because if a group of 1 million are participating in it, it spreads through the ether like a telepathic viral virus. And then when she continued to produce content and she continued to violate us, she only made money off of it because everybody thought, in the hindsight of it all, people started to think that that was what attractiveness looked like, but it was nothing more than the 7 deadly sins of lust and gluttony and greed. But see, lust and gluttony and greed was always kind of like hints of it. You would look at it, but you would turn away because you'd say, I want to be a good person. However, all we see now is gluttony, greed, and lustfulness. As a woman talks to us about mind, body, and soul, as she does the pose that everyone's doing where they're squatting down in lingerie, and then uses the word mind, body, and soul, which is literally a white backdrop of nothingness. Her home is white. Her outfits are white. Her pictures are white. They're clear. She wears dull action food. She doesn't do anything in life. And then she expects that as her brand and image to fuel people into mind, body, and soul freedom. That's actually how she creates herself to be toxic. That's toxicity. That's toxic. That's not American. That might be what they do in Persians to manipulate the Persians into thinking that starving other people was normal. It's called, you think you're better than other people. That's why we have inequality in this country, not because of black people, not because of white people, but again, we have it because of Persians, because of Palestinians, because of all the Middle Eastern cultures, and because of Omar out of Minnesota. Because she didn't want to be American, she wanted to be Somalian in America, and that's not how it works. No, you adopt to the culture that you live in. And if you want something different, then you make the changes. However, when it works for a country, and it has for centuries, you don't mess with democracy. Think about that for a second, what I just said. See, what Amar just said, well, if you want to make changes, you can make the changes. But she wants to change us into Somalia, a third world country. Hillary Clinton wants to turn us into a third world country like Gaza. The problem with each and every one of you is you fell for the Palestinian mindfuck. You fell for the Persian-Palestinian mindfuck. You fell for the nonsensical, uneducated, lying tactics of an actor and an actress that are being spewed all over the platform of TikTok because they are communism. Because when the United States fall, another country will have to take the lead, and everybody wants their piece of the pie in the process, and they're looking for millions and billions of dollars. Now, take all of what I just said out. If everybody has millions of billions of dollars at the higher end levels, and there's a doorway for information that can't be leaked through, just like when we were in World War II with Hitler, how much more challenging is it going to be for those of us who are middle class and lower, so that the rich people can sit on their podcast pedestals? You don't understand the energy that comes along with this nonsense. You're just too busy looking at their glam and their fake friendly. So you look at them and you like their pictures, and that's a little juice for them. That's juicy juice. That's juicy juice. And that's exactly what it looks like. And then when you see someone you trust in participating in it, you weaken. You become weakened, especially when he's constantly telling you to be accountable and be kind to people like that. There is no way in hell that you should ever be kind to someone like a Persian who lies about who she is. They will never be kind to you. They will only use you up for what they can get. And if they don't have anything that you offer, they'll move on to somebody else. It's unethical. It's unbelievable to me that the influencing has gotten to where it is, and that you've turned your back on the American flag. Each and every one of you have turned your back on the American flag and the Constitution while being told by a Singapore man that he knows what the Constitution is all about, but he doesn't know what the Constitution is. He was not born in this country, nor does he understand America or the Constitution or what the flag means to this country. He wasn't here when 9/11 happened. To invite a Persian into your home and to invite a Persian into to be seen and kissing on camera is the most low-life thing that anybody could ever do in America. When you have the capability to help 44 million people and you decide to overthrow humanity by showing a Persian, and then she gleefully runs along next to you while you hold hands and you inappropriately kiss, well, no one says anything. No American has spoken against a Persian and a Russian, by the way. An example of how you tolerate things that should not be tolerated. These women have come into this country as prostitutes to not take men, but take our culture and shit all over it. Meaning, how many people know of a person in their life who are middle class, who hires a chef, hires a cleaning lady, hires a service station, and then acts like they're hosting some big extravagant event because the people are part of rich bitch New York City? And then you proudly show up, and then you proudly take pictures by it, while she shows you recipes that somebody else created. And that literally is the epitome of what branding and imaging is. Stealing from other people and then not being responsible and letting people know that somebody else is creating it. So you basically just kind of like show up like this. Okay, everybody, I'm here. So what do you want me to do? And now I'm going to teach you about mind, body, and spirit because I took a yoga class once. And that's the future of education. That's why the colleges are rioting. In reality, that's actually why they're rioting. They're sellouts. They're abusive, and they've all been influenced by your influence. Not to mention a democratic system who will not stand up for anything. Meaning, I will stand by the Jewish people until the end of time. I will not stand for Gaza. And Gaza is Persian. Gaza is Persian. You do get that, right? They're lying to you. So your lives are on the line here, and you're just helping people who don't deserve the help. You're helping the Gestapo. You are the Gestapo. And then our police and our military are just standing by letting it happen, just like the borders being open. Where the hell do you think these people came from? They said they will not stop until they get what they want. And what they're getting is what? A destruction of culture. And that's what influencers actually want. While they have security guards that they parade around in video form, where they then abuse children to your face and none of you still say anything. However, that's part of their brand. So it's part of their brand to abuse a child. You see it all over his little face. Yet you say, oh, he's so cute, without taking a look at what's actually going on. As nipples are being shown, provocative photos, and then a photograph and a picture of a little innocent baby in their crib. And then the man's jacking off to it, and you say that's normal. And that is where we are in society today with Joe Biden in office. Yet we're still not getting anywhere with anything except for more nonsense and garbage, while you, with Code Pink, is a traitor to the United States of America. You're all traitors to the United States of America. You don't stand for anything. You stand for strategy, you stand for brand, and you lie out your effing asses so that you get people to like you while you look good doing it. Let's go make some cash, Travis. There is definitely something wrong with what I just said. And if you don't see anything wrong with it, you've got mental problems. You're mentally ill, folks. These people are psychologically damaging you because there's no way in hell in the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s that this would have been acceptable behavior. There's no way in hell that this would have been, at any point in history, this behavior is unacceptable. And that's called a free country, because law and order is a must in order to have a free country. Otherwise, people like Call Her Daddy show up from Canada and try to overthrow the country. See, they don't know what democracy really means, nor do they understand the Constitution, nor do they care. They think this is the land of do what you want. Hurt who you want as long as you get paid and look good doing it, because we all are part of the LA culture that went viral because of a communist Erdogan nonsense. Literally, just to let everybody know about Erdogan, which is a gimmick and a brand. It's the same as Whole Foods. And Whole Foods' food is not that great. Erdogan's food is not that great. It's like the same shit like going to McDonald's. It just has a fancier price tag, a fancier location, and a fancier customer base. It's the only reason you like Erdogan. It's not healthier. It's not better than. But look at who did their hair and makeup to go sit outside of it while you look around to see who's walking by you. Maybe they'll ask for your autograph. Mind, body, soul. That is what mind, body, soul is at this point. Is did they ask for my autograph? Did you see me in the photograph? Did you see me where I was? Did you see? Did you see? Did you see? What was your reaction? Mind, body, soul. That's it. And that's where we're headed with these current situations with Dear Media Podcast. And anyone who supports it or who dates it, who validates it, who likes it, who comments on it, who shares it. who compliments it. And it's not just your media, by the way, it's all of you, because you're all gimmick lovers and that's all you know how to do, which means that you're worthless. You caused nothing but riots at colleges. The real reason these people were so vulnerable to the violation of what Persians were up to is because of you as influencers, because of Mona Van, because of what you did. Because of all of you who went to VCon, who didn't stand up for anything except for your own selves. Because of NFT artists, because of everything that I've told you about in the last 7 years and how it's evolved, you're the reason why we're in this fucking mess right now. Selfish, self-righteous, egotistical garbage with nothing to talk about, no education, nothing, and now you violate children. And that's mind, body, and soul education.